let's get a little fancy.
Oh,
Paris Saint-Germain versus
Pinky out.
Bayern. Who you got? That's gonna be so exciting.
It'll be a great matchup over 2 legs for sure. I still think that I give it to PSG. I think that
PSG?
they're just a little more fluid in the midfield. I think that the front line of Bayern are terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But I think that PSG's are as well. But I do think that Bayern have a bit more on that front end in terms of lethality. But the way that PSG can string things together in the midfield to provide opportunities moving up front, it's pretty undeniable, and I think that that's their biggest asset.
Yeah, the caveat would be on Bayern Munich side will be defense, and I'm not saying that because usually teams that operate in a high attacking environment, it's hard to score on them, not because they have a good defense, it's just that the pressure is so much to handle, right?
Yeah.
But you are gonna play with someone that can match that energy, if not better.
Yeah.
So I saw you playing against Madrid. I already told you guys, I knew Madrid was gonna lose. I said it. I was like, just because I know how much pressure and Madrid don't have a good defense. But the difference here is you will have to do that to PSG, then you will have to open up, and PSG will not hesitate to take those chances on. They won't play around. The other thing was pretty fascinating, in case you guys don't know, in League One right now, there's no PSG striker at the top 6 goal scorer. And what that tells you is you can game plan for anybody. Desiree Doué, Kvaratskhelia, and Dembele. So this means anyone can have a good day that day.
and because the way that they lay down the press on you as well, your attacking midfielders are right outside the box ready to take shots as well. I mean, Zaire Emery can put them in. Vitinha looks amazing still, like all season long.
So it's going to come from everywhere and anywhere. So there's not really the guy that you say, let's lock this guy up.
Yeah, they both, again, they have phenomenal front lines. But if I'm looking at the 2 center backs, one, Marquinhos might be immortal. We need to check on that. He still looks great.
That's true actually. You don't realize that Marquinhos is playing at a good level.
Yeah.
Like what?
He's in a Champions League semifinal. He's my age. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about? And William Pacho has actually come up really good this last season. And on the opposite side, Upamecano still has a lot of mistakes in him. I think that Jonathan Tah really does pay the price for some of that.
Yeah.
He himself has not been lights out in the Champions League, but it's the same thing with
they'll be punishable by offense.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Liverpool when what's his name? Not Van Dijk, obviously. Konate. Sorry.
Konate, yeah.
When Konate's having a horrible day, it impacts Virgil van Dijk the same way, and vice versa. So, I really think that the camaraderie of Marquinhos and William Pacho at the back for PSG will be able to absorb more pressure than I think that Bayern's back line can.
Well, in that game, Bayern, the stats or the pronostics or the models used to predict these things give it to Bayern. But let's move on.
I wouldn't, and again, where you're at the point now where I wouldn't be surprised with whoever walks away with this. I think it'll be a high scoring 2-leg tie. What do you think that'll be?
I think the game will be definitely a treat to look at because the intensity will be high. Now I think if one ever opens up and just a little clumsy, they'll pay the price so bad. Yes. So it's either it gets so boring because everybody's watching it's gonna be like a chess game. Yeah. Or if it's checkers, someone will pay that price.
I'm seeing a 4-3 or something like that over 2 legs because I think that like you said, I don't think that we're gonna be seeing a sloppy game at the back. What we're gonna see is probably the 2 best front lines in world football against 2, very good back lines. Yeah. But, when the quality is that high in the attack, you're going to concede goals. But I don't think that it'll be from major mistakes, though.
No, I think it will be from very meticulously well-crafted opportunities.
Team-based goals, not just big mistakes or big.
Everything will be in there. Yep. Now, this is another game a lot of people say it's going to be boring.
It has the makings to be boring, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But hear me out though. Yes, because of how Arsenal play more of a balanced game now, just because they're trying to not get scored on and trying to do the best they can if they score. Atletico Madrid is not the Atletico Madrid of correct because they're not really playing extra defenses. I think the reason is because they don't have the guys that play.
Absolutely. Now, and that's really fast. That's a sign of a good manager too, because Simeone is he's working with a squad that he's not necessarily used to in terms of style. but he's adapted because he understands that unlike, I think that Pep was guilty of it as well, of, really wanting to play a certain style, but the personnel that you have weren't quite able to make it happen. And Simeone turned it like that and was like, fine, we're not ultra defensive at the back. We can't park the bus. We're not even going to try, but we're still going to be defensively minded, and they still are. And that's why I think that they've been so effective.
That's true. And what I will say though, if Atletico Madrid gets this win at I forgot their stadium, but if they get it
Metropolitano. Yes, sir.
If they get it, if it's the 2-0, Arsenal will not be able to come back.
I agree.
Because you saw even Barcelona could not come back. The reason is because they're really good at that lockdown. Although they don't play like that. If they're going to lock down, they're going to lock down.
Yeah, Arsenal, to even stand the chance in the second leg, they've got to walk away from this either 0-0, 1-1. Yeah. But I think that, a 1-goal difference is all they can overcome. I really do believe that. Then
you go back in Arsenal at the Emirates. Is it the Emirates? No.
Yeah,
the Emirates. You go there and you pound them till if it has to come to it. And you think they might go to overtime?
It could, especially in comparison to the other matchup. Say what?
Penalties?
Hopefully not. I'd rather not like that at all. But they do have the virtue of having second leg at home. That's nice.
Yeah.
You're able to dictate pace more that way. You're able to kind of open this up a bit softer and have a bit more control in that second leg. But like I said, other than 0-0 or 1-1, you really don't want to bring much else home to you.
I fathom this idea. So if you think about it right now, right, Bayern Munich is so much in a, I would say probability-wise, they might be on top just because of how much they've been doing this season. Because even PSG hasn't been consistent in their own league. That explains why you don't see any of the strikers in the top 6 in their own league.
Over the last month really was when they separated from Lens.
That's true. And just shows sign of a great team, or at least difference there's difference to this. Arsenal overall has been balanced. So you have Bayern, you have Arsenal. Now you have Atletico Madrid. Now I've been thinking, what if Arsenal win it? Which a lot of people might say they were expecting it. Or what if it's Atletico Madrid here? Because most of the time when they've gotten this far, they have met Madrid.
Yeah.
Madrid is not there. What if that's your year? So we don't know. It's going to be a great Champions League semi-final.
Let's say that Arsenal do make it through. Who do you think that they match up better against in the final?
Ooh, I think
it's pretty clear, but a lot's changed in the last 5 months as well. So who knows?
I think if they make it through, they'll have to get Bayern. I don't want them to get Paris. The reason is because Paris, when it comes to that, Arsenal has a great defense, but
they're too quick, man.
They're just too fast. The press is, if you had to compare the press, I think it's 100 press. And the thing is that if you saw Paris playing, I don't know if they're tested, because I saw them at 90 minutes. Dembele looked like he's about to run again. I don't know, man.
No, I think that they can because they beat Bayern Munich 3-0 in the league phase as well. Now a lot's changed. A lot of guys are now in electric form that were in actively poor form in that matchup. But you're right. I think
don't forget, when there's pressure, there's a lot of mistakes at the back line, because you don't find the space, and this is where, for me, I think Paris Saint-Germain strive, at least for the past month.
I don't want to see Desiree Doué cutting inside against Ben White. I really don't. As an Arsenal fan, you don't want to see that at all.
And you see what he did to who they played again. Was it Chelsea? You saw what he did at the first leg. This guy is crazy. I don't know. That's not a good matchup. I think Bayern will be a better matchup, because sometimes they try to tempo the game, and Arsenal can take control of that game.